The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Forum, assemble! You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from Fantastic Forum Studios, Los Angeles. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as wherever you're in the world. And if you're not, you just stick with us. Over together for now. Yeah, the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese. If you don't know him, you love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the pal. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
Apparently, I'm the resident MCU expert too.
Oh, boo to that, friend. Boo to that. Next, he is our backbone. He's our pillar. He's our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Mack.
What's up? I'm technically not here today.
He's technically not here today. And as for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika #1. And we are also going to be talking to you all about the next Batman, Second Son. So we will be bringing all that to you along with the latest and greatest in comic book news and geek culture happenings. And of course, we'll talk about whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him, this show would not be possible, not have happened. So thanks, Scott. Hope you're doing well. And I think now's a good time for us to tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum. Here's how.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
I indeed do want to. Thank you, intern. It's time to give our intern a permanent position, I believe. So, yeah. Anyway.
Cheers. I gotta give her health care.
Oh, see, there it is. So, gentlemen, how are you all doing today? Y'all feeling good?
Yeah, I finally got to go to the comic book store.
What?
Yeah.
Comics.
And I bought this thing.
I got that as well. Look, it's an eye catcher, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I never heard of it, but I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
Cover's all glossy and and it's sideways. It's a sideways comic.
Yeah, I know.
And
is it a sideways comic or did they cut it in half?
No, it's sideways. I believe. I think this was one of those paper comics. Was it not paper?
Like an ash can?
No, the Brian K. Vaughan company. No, the Brian K. Vaughan company where they come out digitally first. So because of that, because of the landscape nature of the phone, they make them so you can read them easier on that type of screen. So when you print them, they come out in odd sizes. But I'm not sure. I'm going to do my research and I'm going to give you a Fantastic Four one shot about it. All you have to do is hit like, subscribe, and the bell to be notified.
What you said,
just go with that research. Just say that's what it is, and if it's not, call him a fucking liar.
And I also got King Spawn #1.
Nice.
Was that out already? Damn it.
Yeah, it came out today. I got this cover. I couldn't choose, and they didn't have a white cover. You
couldn't choose?
I couldn't choose out of all the covers, so I just got that.
Gotcha.
And then I bought the J. Scott Campbell cover for Spawn's Universe #1. And you know what, Larry? It felt good buying being excited about a Spawn book at the comic shop. Felt like I was not only did I went to a shop where I actually bought Spawn number 10 when I was a kid. And
Nice.
I went to get this there, and it felt good. I asked them if they had my book on healing crystals that I lost there when I was 8, and no, but you know,
Mo, were you so young that you missed like the beginning of Spawn? Were you not into comics yet?
no. I actually traded a what was it? It was, I think it was like a Doctor Strange book or one of those like Prowler heavy Spider-Man books,
Mm-hmm.
and I let my friend borrow it, and he gave me Spawn 1, and I never gave Spawn 1 back.
That was a bad move, old
Yeah,
friend.
but it had the cover, like he had ripped it up, you know.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think at that point they were on, I think Spawn 3 when that happened. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, and then I
It's so
got
fun.
crossover number 6, the white
Oh,
cover.
nice.
Dude, you got cover C, but the main cover A, is freaking amazing.
Which cover is cover A?
It's
Share it.
I don't know if I can share it.
No. Uh-oh. What is it on your porn laptop? Is that why?
Any laptop I have is a porn laptop.
What you can describe it until the picture comes up.
It looks like is one of you guys looking for it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay.
Here,
Joe has the better porn laptop.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks like a painting, and not just like a painting, but like when you actually look at it, it's like kind of scratched and dirty, like it's.
Yeah.
I like that one. I usually, the variants are better, but I just looked at all of them, and this one's amazing.
So I got King Spawn today as well, but I got the Brett Booth cover, which is more like it's probably the most comic booky of the covers, with the exception of, well, no, I won't even say the exception of, the only thing I would say even rivals it is, Todd did a cover too, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
But his cover was like unusually subdued for Spawn, which I think is because Spawn, he's trying to have Spawn be regal since it's King Spawn. Yeah, that's the one I got.
Yeah, I'm surprised that painting one wasn't Finch, because he did a cover too.
Yeah, Finch's cover is good too.
That's the one Mo got.
That's the one I got. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Capullo did one too, which as well he
I was
showed.
looking for Capullo. I didn't see it at my shop.
Do you know? I mean, but do you know what it looks like?
No.
Okay, here, I'm gonna give me a second to put that up. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, well, they're all good. Like I haven't seen a bad one in the.
That's not the Capullo one, is it? That's not McFarlane?
No, it says Capullo.
The McFarlane one is the one where he's sitting with on the throne with a sword. I can pop that up.
Oh, you know what? Okay, got you.
It looks kind of phallic.
It does. It does, but still looks great.
Yeah, no, it's a great issue. Great cover.
Yeah, but no, I agree. I like going to the shop and getting Spawn books and feeling like I have a jumping on point. So, and who knows? Maybe one day I'll go back and fill in those holes, like that decade of Spawn that I missed. But we'll see. Anyway, so, and how about the rest of you fellas? You all feeling good? You doing all right, Jay?
I'm doing that.
Doing okay. Listen, do you want to get into it, or should we move on?
Yeah, we should move on.
Okay, we're gonna do our best to make sure that you're not anymore either, Jay. There are other people in the audience that might be feeling as well, and they're like, yeah, that's how I feel. It's like, and if you want to not feel you should stay tuned. If you want to stay you might want to do that too. You can still stay tuned, because Oz will say something.
I've been sleeping on this artist. I had not heard that name.
Which one? Javier Fernandez?
Puppeteer Lee.
Oh, yeah.
A name like Puppeteer, I think I would remember.
Puppeteer Lee.
That's the Spawn cover guy.
Oh, the one with that looks like a painting?
Yeah.
Puppeteer Lee?
And Look, I saw Lee. I thought Jim.
Are we sure that's not a Batman villain? Or look, Spawn.
I mean, I'm looking at the signature. He signs it puppeteer too. It's like I thought it was a nickname or something.
Well,
I don't know.
listen, if you're a comic book artist, you're not going to want to sign your work Lee, right?
Why not? They might.
Yeah.
I'm good. Like all you're like, what happened? All these comments. Damn, Jim Lee fell off.
Yeah,
what happened? You know? It's like it's not, and it's like your art probably not even bad. It's just not Jim Lee.
Look at this
we
guy's
got a
art.
couple of comments in the chat. Alfonso Ceja says Spawn has always looked like the king of edge lords, and I mean that in the best way.
Yeah, that's good stuff. What didn't we just read? Oh, actually, maybe it wasn't a book that. It might have been a book I was reading. I don't know. Like I feel like wasn't there just a book, like a comic that was like had like a personification for edgelords? That might have been something I was reading on my own.
No, but I think we did talk of something similar like that. I don't know if it was just you and me or the show.
Yeah,
but it sounds familiar.
But it was like literally like a group, like there was like somebody was like going either through someone's mind or something like that, and it was a personification for edgelords, and I was like, oh wow, that's
yeah.
It didn't look like Spawn, but it was a good like representation of an edgelord. Like I like of not like in reality, but in actual, you know, personification form, like, you know. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's a great cover. I almost got that one, but I liked the Booth one, the Brett Booth.
And all the covers are somewhat rare because McFarlane actually like showed a picture of all the ones he's going to recycle to make the next issues of all the ones that, because, you know, he did a big print run, and whatever didn't sell in the initial run, he just recycled and he's going to print number 3 on it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're all like, if you can get them all, that's it. There's not going to be, you know, like you can reorder. Maybe they'll do a second printing, maybe not, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a second printing, but yeah, it'll be different. So,
but I want a white cover.
Hey man, listen, Todd's not hard to reach.
I almost bought out Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but it was a green cover.
Like
send Todd $10. He'll staple like a white sheet of paper to one.
I'm down.
I just say,
you know
like,
what? No, wait, forget that. Call him up, have him ask him for a white cover, and then ask him to draw on it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, McFarlane's accessible, and he's the kind of guy that you're like, hey, how come no white cover? He'll be like, oh, you want a white cover? Okay.
It could be one of those things where that comic book store didn't have it. Let me see. I'm gonna look in the back, see if they have a cover gallery.
Yeah, so that's fair. It's funny because you know, you were talking about your friend's your friend's Spawn #1 and how it was like all ripped up, and like one of my most vivid like convention memories is, which I've talked about this before, but Jay and I at friggin' the Shrine conventions here in LA back in the day. You know, the Shrine was like the convention in LA, and like whoever the top talent or when a movie was gonna, well, not necessarily premiere, but when they were like those, like the comic book movies that didn't go into wide release. What are you showing us?
Haunt is in it.
Oh,
you love Haunt.
No, wait, what? Why do I love Haunt? But you know, like they would show movie premieres, and sometimes celebrities would show up, and some, you know, you top comic talent. And Jay and I waited in line for hours. Like we had to get there early. We had to get like pull for tickets to get Spawn signed by Todd, and then still had to wait in the line for like hours so that you could get your turn to get your signature. And Jay and I were sitting there, and Spawn number 4, which was the one that had the what was it, the Image Zero coupon in it, and which is a kick-ass issue with the one with the Violator face.
Yeah.
And it was like an expensive book at the time, because you had to like get each Image book that came out that month had a coupon that you needed to get all of them and send in to get Image Zero. And people were like, they wanted it, and there wasn't enough copies being printed at the time because it was a different era in comics. And it was like a friggin' like $50 book in some places, and this fool had this joint rolled up in his back pocket. And Joe and I were like, oh my God, look at this guy. We were like, whoa, what's this person doing? You know, and you know, we were young. It's like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't treat a comic book like that now, but I would have been more chill about it now, just because like, oh well, I wouldn't do that, but you know, but at the time, Jay and I were like, man, and I think Jay was like, we should take that book from him. And I was like, chill. I was like, chill, man. We're not those kinds of kids.
Yet.
So we also got Tiger Claw in chat, and he wants to know. He says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? What you guys thought about that trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home? I can't believe they finally did it. Doc Ock is back."
Oh, well, look, we're gonna have to table that one, because we won't get to this other stuff if we start talking about that first. That can be the first thing we talk about after these reviews, if you all want. I'm down for it. I want to talk to you all about it, but if we talk about it right now, like there goes Sweet Paprika. So
I'm okay with that, but
oh boo! Of course you are. Of course you are. Look, let's get into it. Let's do some comic book reviews, and let's talk about Sweet Paprika.
Oh, that's my cue.
That's you. Let's get in these comic book reviews and talk about Sweet Paprika.
Comic book review.
Comic book review. Well, not like that, but like.
So, Oz, man, why don't you tell us about Sweet Paprika? No, I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But Mo, why don't you tell us about what Sweet Paprika is, what it's about, and start us off?
In the little video vignette that I sent you guys, I say that, but
do you want me? Oh, let's play it. I'm sorry, I forgot about the video.
Yeah,
but
play the big bit.
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'll tell you exactly what it's about in a more detailed fashion.
Perfect. I forgot we had those. Sorry.
So Mirka Andolfo's Sweet Paprika #1. I picked this book to review today because it's a new work from Mirka Andolfo, and here at Fantastic Forum, you know we love Mirka Andolfo. We love a lot of her work, Unnatural, her work on the little Conan, Cimmerian, the unofficial Conan book, Mercy. So it just seemed like the next logical step for us to review this. And she doesn't disappoint. She does what she does. The art's great. The cover is great. The story itself I really enjoy, but not as much as like I did like an Unnatural or even a Mercy. Like this story kind of fits in the mold of Unnatural, if you could use that term. It's a similar type of story, similar type of female lead. This one's just, a different type of creature, non-human creature. With Unnatural, you can kind of see where it's going. Whereas with this one, it's like, I personally don't see so much where it's going other than her sexual freedom or whatever. But we'll see where it goes. I mean, the cliffhanger at the end with the, spoilers, with the dad dying, I think that's gonna give us a new dimension of what it could be. So I'm in. I like this. I like this story. Here's a couple of the covers that are going to be, because it's sold out, and it sold out real quick. So they rushed the second printing, which comes out today, or came out today, and they got a lot of other covers. I like the second the second printing cover a lot, and I just like the art and one of the things I like about Mirka Andolfo a lot is the art and then her way she writes. So this book kind of encompasses her style all around, even the way she writes. I don't know if it's the translation, because I believe it was written in Italian, but I believe that, she does a good job. Like, even like dealing with sexual themes, it doesn't feel too sanitized, but not too raunchy either. It's just natural. She has a natural way of sexuality being expressed by her characters, and I think that goes with any language. And I think part of that is her European sensibilities too, where she's not as uptight. The European culture is not as uptight as American culture when it comes to sex. So you feel like when you talk about sex, it has to be pervy and it has to be a little raunchy. Whereas here, it's just another issue that devils, but humans in general, because humans are the ones reading it, kind of have to, another facet of their lives that they have to kind of come to terms with, intimacy and love and getting off. And that this book kind of does a good job of that, of focusing that type of struggle in a young adult, professional lifestyle that the main character Paprika deals with. And I like the execution. I would give it a 4 out of 5 easily. 4 out of 5. I will probably revise that rating once I read the whole thing, or the first trade paperback, because this does feel like incomplete because it's issue 1, but it does keep me wanting to read more.
But yeah, if you couldn't gather from that, it is a story of a demon girl that is essentially put her career ahead of her own needs, physical needs, emotional needs, and part of that is because of the conflict in her upbringing. And the comic kind of tells you that at the beginning, and then she's dealing with it in the first issue. Not a lot happens in terms of putting her on that journey yet, but it's coming. She's a demon, and then the angel wants to bang her. That's the other part.
Now, does the angel want to bang her? Or does she want to bang the angel?
I think it's both. That angel wants to bang everybody. He probably bangs that little dog he's walking around with.
Damn, the little angel dog? That's
Joe, did you read Unsainted?
Did I read what?
Is it Unsainted? The one that she did? Unsacred. That's what it is.
No, I haven't read that yet.
Because I was actually flipping through that, and it looks like it might be in the same universe as this, but I didn't read it, so I don't know. I was hoping Joe read it so I could ask questions, but if he didn't, that's a show for another time.
Yeah. But what did you think of it, Jay? Of Sweet Paprika?
I really enjoyed it. Like, it's got this cool little rom-com setup, interesting characters. Yeah, like, so far I'm enjoying it. Like, yeah, it's a decent setup, rom-com, but they're not too into rom-coms, but this one I like. It's pretty funny, interesting. Her art is amazing as always. The art is kind of interesting because it's a little more stylized than like a lot of the other stuff we've like talked about on the show. And yeah, I'm in. Like, having a good time with it.
Good stuff. Oz, you want to tell us what you might have thought?
I couldn't get through it.
You couldn't get through it. So what made it
No,
hard?
it was like I was reading a episode of Sex and the City. A lot of people love that show. It's just not for me. I'm not the rom-com guy. I was disappointed by the angel demon aspect of it because that could lead to interesting things when an angel and a demon fall in love. But everybody in this book is either an angel or a demon, and they're living basically the lives of human. It's literally just like a slice of life type of story, and everybody's wearing either a demon or an angel costume. It's kind of what it felt like. So I was kind of disappointed with that. The art style is a little too cartoony. It was, I mean, it's not bad. Look, I'm a huge Mirka Andolfo fan. I paid way too much money for her art, but this you know, I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
you know, she's a fine writer. It's not a poorly written story at all. It's
that's not your bag.
Like I said, millions of people love Sex and the City. Yeah, that show was popular for years. You know, rom-coms make a lot of money, and it's not poorly. I never felt like, well, that's stupid, well, that's dumb. It's just not something I was feeling when I was reading it.
Right.
And probably that angel demon thing probably really is what disappointed me. I was expecting something to like that to be a thing, and they're just like regular ass people, but some are demons, some are angels. Yeah, it's not even like a taboo thing. This angel's been you know, walks into the office, and every woman there, whether angel or demon, like wants to jump him. And I think he bangs one of the demon chicks in that book before he even gets to the main girl. So it's not like I don't see anything bad coming from an angel and a demon banging. So it was, I don't know. It just felt like not my thing.
I hear you. It's interesting because I'm pretty sure the book is like pitched, or not pitched, but I should say, like, I don't remember what the term is, but basically it's described on the image site as like Sex and the City meets Bridges of Madison County or something, with a dash of The Devil Wears Prada.
That's three things I didn't watch.
Right, I was about to say, like, I haven't seen any of those things either.
Yeah, me neither.
But here's the thing. I like romantic comedies. Like, like friggin' usually, like, especially like during like that Hugh Grant era, I watched like almost all of those. You know, like those joints are good to me, and I find them enjoyable. I like those kinds of stories, even though they're in a lot of ways all the same story. But you know, I can appreciate the execution of it, because it's not like it might be there might be a lot of tropes when it comes to romantic comedies, but it's not like it's like the kind of thing that you know, like, oh well, anyone could make that. It's like no, romantic comedies can go really wrong really quickly, you know, in all different types of ways. Now, as in regards to Sweet Paprika, though, I kind of feel where you're coming from, Oz. Just because, even though I like romantic comedies, I was kind of expecting a little bit more from this book. And you know, part of that might just be on me, where I was just like, it wasn't hard to get through, and I agree with much of what you, Jay, and Moses said in regards to like the art and, you know, the story, like, is interesting, but at the same time, I felt like I was more wondering what the world was going to be like, especially given like the artistic styling of the characters. Like, you know, yeah, the angels and demons thing piqued my interest, and for it to like just not play into it at all, I was disappointed.
Right. It feels like it should be forbidden love, but it's not.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I won't, like. I feel like it to be a forbidden love kind of thing would be again a little bit predictable and maybe a bit tropey. And so I wouldn't be mad at her I wouldn't be mad at her for staying away from that. But it feels like it's ignored, like just like how you said, Oz. It's like this is a slice of life, and it just like some people happen to look one way and some people happen to look the other way. And it's like, well, then what's the point then? And it's like there might be a point, but maybe there's not. I don't know. And for it not to get addressed at all in issue 1 of the book, like even just a little bit, like all I need is a nugget. I feel like a nugget would have satisfied me, but I'm kind of believing at this point, like, I don't know that it's going to factor into it at all. And so, which I guess I could be okay with that. Like, I don't know, like at this point, like the book, like I was disappointed by the world building aspect. And here's the thing. I don't even know that it necessarily needed to be a whole heaven and hell kind of world building kind of thing. But realistically speaking, like I don't learn anything about this world at all. Like all I learn about is like the woman works in an office. I mean, they tell us that she's like the chief creative officer of a Actually, do they tell us what kind of company it is? I don't remember.
It's
Is it a branding?
It's a publishing company.
Publishing company.
There's a
Right.
number one publisher.
Got you. Right. They do say that. Yeah. So she's the chief creative officer of a publishing company. And I feel like that's the world building. And to a degree, that's a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, give me something else to latch on to, because I guess at this point, it's like, I understand that she's having trouble with her work-life balance, and that's relatable and understandable. So it's like I'm willing to go on that journey, but I guess at this point it's like I don't know what the stakes are. Other than I don't know what the stakes are, because it's like she's been living her life that way all this time, and I guess she's coming to terms with the idea that she's like, well, I don't like living like this, but it doesn't seem like there's necessarily, like, if she wants to change that, she can, I guess, right? It's like she has resources, right? So I don't know. Like, it's like I feel like issue 2 will be better, but I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like I'd be really hard to knock anyone for reading this first issue and just saying like I don't know if I need to read the second one.
Right. I mean, she's a powerful woman who has put her career ahead of relationships, because she justifies it to herself as she's getting ahead in her careers. But from, like, as Mo said, we see that some of that stems from, I don't want to say trauma, but her growing up, the way her dad kind of treated her, put her in that mindset. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, you talk about stakes, I'm pretty sure by the point that she starts hooking up with the dude and starts having those relationships, I think that's going to cause her professional life to start to fall apart. And it's just like Mo said, it's predictable. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that a lot of stories are predictable. That doesn't make them not good. Mm-hmm. It's just this isn't for me, but it's well done. Mirka Andolfo can write just as well as she can draw.
And that's kind of where I was like having the question about Unsainted as well, where it's Unsacred. Like Unsacred. Sorry, there's a new song out called Unsainted. So I looked at the cover to Unsacred, and it's like I thought it was an issue. I thought it was issue 2 of Sweet Paprika, and I don't have the cover here to show you, but yeah, it's just and it's her art still, but it's slightly different than this. And look, say what you want about the story, but she's got a good week because she also has on the stands right now Superman versus Lobo on DC Black. Mm-hmm. And that looks good, but I mean, she just did the cover. But you talk about her style and versatility and art style.
Oh, dude, she could do it all.
Yeah, that cover looks great, and I almost bought it until it wasn't her art on the insides.
Nah, there you go. Now I don't know. I don't know if you knew this, Mo, but did you like Lobo is her favorite character?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, I read that like in like preparing for the show today, and I was like, wow, I guess that's really interesting because she's Italian, so like her first exposure to comics wasn't necessarily American superhero stuff, but once she got introduced to that, yeah, Lobo's who she gravitated towards.
I can see that.
I see what you're saying here with this Unsacred. Yeah, that does look like it could be in the same universe.
But that wasn't the cover I had in mind. But I'll see if I can find the one.
Which issue was it?
I believe it was the first one, but yeah. And there's let's see.
I will say that one thing that did hook me, that I was like, the only part that I was like, I'm actually really interested in that is, you have the delivery guy character that Oz mentioned before that everybody loves. And, Paprika kind of pushes back against him just because, right? The whole thing where he always wears the shades or whatever, or doesn't want people looking him in the eyes. Like, or it doesn't say that he doesn't want people looking him in the eyes, but they make the reference that he always puts the shades on, or he put his shades on before he put on clothes. I was like, I wonder what that's about. Like that was like, okay, that was the part that I was like, I wonder where that's gonna go, because that's like the part where I'm like, okay, I don't,
By the way,
did always have on shades, huh?
Superman versus Lobo, that is her art inside.
Inside, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang. Oh. Mo was not impressed.
Well, I read the credit, and I guess I just saw a cover by Mirka Andolfo.
Yeah, she did the A cover, but
right.
Yeah, I'm seeing art by Mirka Andolfo.
All right, I gotta go back.
I gotta go back.
Look, I gotta add it to my pull list.
That's I like that same cover.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the other one is essentially a demon guy. I believe he might be wearing sunglasses, and they're like holding each other. And
oh, that's not the same one you were talking about.
Huh? I gotta find this. But
that's issue 1, but
right.
It might be a variant.
Let's see.
You gotta prune it.
Yeah, all the covers of Unsacred that I saw were like realistic ones, like how Red Sonja has cosplayers sometimes.
Oh, Mo, they have a white cover.
Nice. All right,
Mo's in.
Yeah, I have 5 out of 5.
So, but yeah, I mean, I know, Joe, you're looking to see if you can find that cover. So
I got the Amazon page up.
Oh,
but that's the only one I could find.
I can do that. Let's see.
So that's.
Oh yeah.
That to me looks like it could be like the opposite. It's the devil guy and the angel girl, but it's the reverse gender swap version of Sweet Paprika.
Right.
It looks like it could be in the same universe, and even the art style somewhat similar. And yeah, it's in fact, from searching all these covers here, it feels like they might have the thing that Oz likes, the conflict of angel and ramifications of angels and demons. Fucking
yeah.
I mean, making sweet love.
Oh, there's nothing sweet when you include a demon.
Tell that to your mom.
I don't know why he felt it was necessary to say that.
Just cause. That's how fun people express love. They talk shit to each other.
Got it. So Oz,
Hmm.
what would you rate Sweet Paprika?
I'm gonna go with personally, I think 2.5. If you like rom-coms or Sex in the City, I'd say 3.5, closer to 4. Like it's well drawn, it's well written. It's just not my thing. It might be your thing. If it's your thing, check it out.
Fair. Moses Magnum, I know technically you've already given your review and your rating, but give the people, hit them with it one more time.
I don't remember what I said in that, but I believe it was like a 4 out of 5 because
Yeah.
it's it flows well. We've read a lot of these books that are translated from another language, and
Yeah.
I don't know that this is that, but I know it's written. It's not her first language if it's written straight in English, and everything flows well. We talked last week about a book where a British guy. Oh no, that's not you guys. Never mind.
Oh, he's got another
Uh-oh,
show.
that's
You heard
another
that?
show. I'm
Go all
on
over
this.
again.
When we reviewed Batman Reptilian #1, and by we I don't mean you guys. It was weird having Garth Ennis write dialogue for Gothamites, and
They're saying strange stuff, huh?
right, and we don't have that issue here. So that gives it. I mean, it's a fundamentally well-made book, well put together, and I would keep reading it because I really the problems I had with it are basically a taste issue, just like Oz and Larry and I don't even know if Joe had problems with it at all, but I'm sure if they did, it'd be more of a taste issue rather than a quality issue. So it's still a 4 from me. And it makes me want to keep reading the rest because I want to see this demon angel stuff. Not necessarily pay off, but I want to see where this goes. I do want to see that world and why it has to be an angel or a demon. I guess maybe it's not going to pay off, but you're going to get a different score at the end when I get to that point.
Fair. Jay, what would you rate Sweet Paprika #1?
I would rate it a 5 out of 5. I love the art. I like the characters. The situation seems like it'll be interesting. I don't really need payoff to why they're angels and demons. To me, it's kind of just like a choice. Like they could have been angels and demons, or they could have been black and white, or it could have been whatever,
Furries.
So, yeah. So I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Eagerly awaiting issue 2. 5 out of 5.
Cool. As for myself, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. It's a well put together book, but at the end of the day, I just don't feel like maybe it just wasn't for me. Like maybe I'm not into rom-comics. I don't know.
How about rom-communism?
Rom-communism? No, I don't think I'm into that either. Romantic communism. But I mean, the book is beautiful. Like it's well drawn, and the way that the characters like come across on the page and relate to one another is interesting. It's just not so interesting that it necessarily pulled me all the way in. And I think it very well could just be a genre thing. Like I can't say that I read a lot of what would be considered like rom-com comics. And
Do you want recommendations?
Do I want recommendations?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take a recommendation if you have like whichever one you think is the best one. Recommend it to me, and I'll read it so that way I can maybe have a and me, so I know that if you recommend it to me, there's a solid chance I might actually like it. So, but what I was gonna say is I believe as though in the same way how I can't really watch or don't enjoy watching horror movies per se, or like horror television, which I guess is not really a thing, but you know what I mean.
Horror television is a thing.
Absolutely is.
American Horror
ASH,
Stories, right?
The new season of ASH.
American Story of Horror.
You should just say American Horror Story.
I probably should.
Yeah, you should just say that. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's on the 25th.
Is there other horror TV other than American Horror Story?
Scream the series, Slasher.
Yeah.
Wait, Slasher? I thought Slasher was a channel, not a TV show.
You're thinking of Shudder, possibly.
Oh, maybe so. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Slasher is
there it is.
Series. It's a horror anthology series. It's amazing.
Okay. So
definitely,
we've established that horror TV is a thing. I'll take it back. I didn't realize. Sorry.
Like even the first 3 seasons of Supernatural were like horror adventure.
Okay. I mean, I listened.
Look, you peeked yourself in the first 5 episodes.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not in the same way that I don't watch horror movies or horror TV.
Monsterland.
No, but okay, I got it.
Tales from the Crypt. You like Tales from the Crypt, right? You didn't watch that?
Can I finish the end of the joint or no? If no, I'll just listen. Go ahead. At least put it on 4 screens if y'all gonna keep talking. They don't need to see me just be like.
There's Tales from the Crypt too. There's a lot of blood in that.
So what I'm saying is that the same way that I don't watch that stuff, but I can read comic books about it, this might be the opposite, where I can watch the movies or the TV shows that I find it interesting, but maybe reading the comics isn't my thing. So
that's not true. You like Sex Criminals.
Sex Criminals is not a romantic or a rom-com comic. Like there's a romance in it, but that's like saying Saga is a rom-com comic.
Comedy.
No, but it's both of those are high adventure with a romance in it. You know what I'm saying? That's like romance is a part of it. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is, but romance is a part of X-Men too. You know what I'm saying?
But that's not funny.
That's right. He does like Cyclops.
First of all, for the record, everyone likes Cyclops. Okay.
Yeah, apparently so does Wolverine and Jean Grey.
Wolverine, Jean Grey, Psylocke before she became 2 people. All of them.
It's like the wobbly H, but Cyclops is the dash.
What? What? Oh Jesus! Okay.
I wish we would have pre-produced that joke so that we could demonstrate the wobbly H across.
You gotta talk about Eyes Wide Shut. I mean,
okay.
So should we move on?
Yeah, we should definitely move on. We should talk about Batman, the next Batman's second son. Oz, why don't you hit us off with this one, buddy?
Oh, you can't go to me after I just made a joke. Whoa.
Like Jay couldn't tell what you all apart again. No. Jay's like all those Latinos look alike.
The off blacks.
That's too funny. Like I couldn't even. I took a drink just before Mo said that. I couldn't even laugh like I wanted to. I was like, I will shut down this whole show. I will destroy my computer if I laugh like out loud. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Oz.
Okay, so the next Batman, second son, is the origin story of what I guess people consider the Black Batman, which I always thought was weird because I expected that to be Luke. And no, this is a new brother. Well,
brother.
New brother. Like, who let this brother in?
I wish I could take credit for that one.
I won't be able to.
This brother acting brand new. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A while back, a couple years back, they announced 5G, and I think Warner Brothers made a mistake, or DC made a mistake of, well, Didio at the time made the mistake of saying, "Hey, there's a new Batman. He's gonna be black," and I think that kind of like made people feel a little weird. Like, well, what do you mean? What's happening? And then stuff happened. 5G was kind of set aside, and instead we got Future State, which was the introduction of this Black Batman. Now, as a character, as a Batman, he did Batman things. He was fine. He was a decent Batman. But I had the problem with, well, who's this guy, and what makes him think he can be a Batman? Like, wow, how did he get to this point? And
right.
So that's why I picked up this story, because this, I mean, it says it's called Second Son, Batman, the next Batman Second Son. There ain't no Batman in it.
How many issues you got there, buddy?
It's a 4-issue thing. I got.
Oh! I thought there was more over there on your right. I'm sorry.
No. This is another reason to get this is because it's the prelude to I Am Batman, which is his ongoing series. So that's what I got here.
Wait, it's 4 issues?
Yeah.
What you have for the whole series?
I know what happened.
Yeah, tell him, Mo.
It was a digital first, and it got printed. So I read the digital ones, and there's 12 of them. But and they felt like, if you can, when you play my video, you'll see like one of my complaints was that each issue felt really light, and it's like, if this costs money, yeah. But I believe the digital first were 99 cents. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't check my statement.
Okay, now that makes sense, because I watched some of what you said, and you mentioned that it ended at Grifter. I think this is the page.
Yeah.
Well, that's like page 5 or 6. I mean, there's still
and that's where the issue, because when you read it digitally, the paneling is off. Where there's like the long panels, kind of how I explained that other comic, the Sideways comics, was it Iconoclash or whatever, the Echo Lands, and where it's a sideways comic because it's made to meet the needs of reading it on a digital tablet or phone, and that's what that was in those digital first. So now it makes sense. So I only read half an issue. So if you want to play my video about
I would say you read less than a third of an issue, maybe a quarter of an issue.
Worse, at 99 cents.
Wait, I mean, the issue is $5,
right? And that's the thing. Like, when you think about the digital first, you got 12 issues in that series, and you got 4. That's about 3 per book at $5 a piece.
All right,
so they get 12 of them for $12, or 4 of them for 20.
So let's play the video before we get repetitive. Let's see what you have to say.
So the next Batman, Second Son. It's a interesting read. Something totally different, totally new. Something I didn't even know existed. The Tim Fox thing, trying to go back to Gotham. He's out in Vietnam, toppling a billionaire, trying to hack, and it gets, all that start of the story to me was a nice jumping on point into something I totally didn't know. So that made it enjoyable. The page count was a little weird because, it's a digital first, so their page count, the page layout is different. So it felt like too quick. I don't know how much it costs. If it was a $4 book, the page count felt a little light, but I don't know. I don't know what that is in print. And but other than that, it was an interesting read. I didn't really feel like reading the next one, although I hear from you, Larry, that if you keep reading it, it's a better book. It's an interesting story, and I think I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to keep reading it. As far as my review for it, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Some of the decisions were a little weird. A little art position was weird, but that cliffhanger was good with Grifter. So, 3 out of 5 for me. Yeah.
All right, there it is.
All I read was up to Grifter, and now I'm mad.
What are you mad about? Tell him why you mad, son. Tell him why you mad, son.
That was like the first, that was like a good ending point. Like, it's a cliffhanger, and it made it interesting to read the second one. Now all of a sudden it's part of one book.
Well, keep in mind too that this is one of those things where the other part that makes it like the digital first aspect of it is that was coming out weekly. So you weren't waiting a month to get the next part. You're waiting, week to week.
Now you get it all in one book, and it's like it's a misplaced cliffhanger.
Well, I mean, but there's points.
Like Larry. I mean, Oz. What happens in the next page?
They talk about Grifter, and Lucius Fox talk about Jace, because Grifter is the one that went like looking for him. So it's a conversation with Lucius Fox and Grifter.
The same dude from issue 1?
Yeah. Well, actually, the next page goes into Jace. Looks like he stops a robbery. No, Batwing stops a robbery. And then you go back to Grifter talking to Lucius Fox.
Okay, so it's like a scene change. It doesn't feel like another issue.
I think if you bought the next 5 pages, you would get the scene change, and then you'd go back to Grifter.
Okay. Yeah. I hate it. It just seems like a weird way to sell comics right now. You either do one or the other, but I mean, they got to do what they got to do.
I mean, I'm not personally like, I don't prefer to read my stuff digitally.
Yeah.
However, it's like I feel like the pacing, like it seems like this. It's written by John Ridley, and John Ridley understood that he was making a weekly web comic. To me, like it felt like every beat. I think he knew that it was going to be eventually consolidated into a print comic format, but he tried to make sure that from week to week you got the beat. And I mean, and that's the same way, like what I was gonna say before, is like in print comics, it's not like the only page turner you get is the last, like, the thing that makes you the hook for the next issue. Like you get page turners from in the book as well. Don't get me wrong, though. I get it. Like, it does feel very intentional. And, like, the Grifter thing is the kind of thing where, you're supposed to be like, oh, my God, it's Grifter. I personally, as much as I love Wildstorm, that's not the kind of thing for me. Like, I don't even understand why they like, well, I won't say I don't understand. I understand why Grifter's integrated into Batman, and that's because Jim Lee likes Grifter. And he's like, well, let's put Grifter in the most popular book. So, okay, I get it. Personally, out of all the Wildstorm characters, he doesn't make the most sense to me to be in Gotham or in Batman books. But whatever. It's not my choice, right? It's not my call. So, but it's just like, I feel like as well as you can navigate doing a weekly I won't say web comic, but a weekly digital comic book release that's eventually going to be made into a physical print comic, John Ridley did that, is what I'm trying to say. To me. But
what do
you all think?
I think Mo would have been mad if he paid for the next issue. Because that Grifter cliffhanger is kind of like nothing happens.
Right.
When you finally get back to Grifter, it's one page. He's not even wearing the mask. The hooker that he's there with is gone, and he doesn't do Grifter things. He just talks to Lucius for a page. Like, here, I can show you. That's all of Grifter you get right there in that page. So, spoiler alert. Oh, here. There. That's it. That's all. I forget. He might show up at some other point, but I don't remember him showing up. So yeah, it's kind of like I think Mo would have got there and be like, "Well, that's it. Fuck that. I hate this fucking book."
But I do feel like the rest of the story would have, like, I think you would have been interested in the things that weren't Grifter. But
if
you
I
might
would
be
have
right.
read the print version, I would have had probably a better experience than what I'm having now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you would have seen Grifter on one page, and then he has a conversation, and it feels better than I bought issue 1, and then there was Grifter issue 2 on one page of Grifter.
Right.
So yeah, that I could see that. I think I like this book because that's what I wanted. I wanted to know why this guy became Batman. Especially because, again, his brother Luke Fox is already a bat, and why this guy over that? Why did they have to create this character? I wanted to see where he came from, where he was trained, like what makes him so good, and this book goes into that. You get a lot of that in this book, and I haven't read issue 0 of his book, but that goes more in. I kind of like flip through the pages, and it looks like he goes more into his training and why he's qualified to take the job. So I want to know what you think, Lawrence.
Okay. Yeah, we could talk. Look, okay, so well, let me preface things by saying, like, I read the next Batman when Future State came out, and I liked the character. Like, the series itself definitely left me wanting to know more in the same way you did, Oz, and this where I'm like, where did this guy come from? And this series definitely answers all those questions, or most of those questions, I guess is what I should say. But I enjoyed the journey of it. Like, I honestly, I really enjoyed John Ridley's writing. It felt very natural. It's one of these things where, I read like Black writers that write comics. I don't always read them writing Black characters. And, like, sometimes it like, well, what I'll say is with John Ridley and him writing Jace Fox, it feels very natural. It feels very much like, I'm like, dude, I believe this guy. I believe this guy would do this and say that. And I like it feels like somebody I know. And so it was cool because I enjoyed the next Batman as a series, even though it left me with a lot of questions. And to get these answers and be like, oh man, they totally, like, I felt like Ridley totally fleshed this guy out 100%. And it felt like, even like knowing what I know now in Second Son and looking back at those issues, it's like, oh, okay, like all this stuff all connects. Like, he had the backstory already. It just they didn't give us that first. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I really enjoyed it. The only
I didn't
thing,
realize he was one of the guys that wrote Martin.
Yeah, no, John Ridley has been in the industry for a long time, and he's written all types of stuff.
Martin, like Martin.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like that terrible show that people keep insisting was great.
Oh, wait a minute now. Like Martin's not terrible. It's not great either,
It's
but
great.
it's not terrible.
I mean, you gotta love Martin Lawrence to enjoy that show. It's his style of comedy.
Look, but like John Ridley wrote 12 Years a Slave.
No one saw, or okay, I can't say no one saw that. I 100% did not see that.
No one
Okay,
here.
yeah,
Academy
it's
Award
just you,
winning.
Joe. Like it friggin' won an Academy Award. How about that?
Well, to be fair,
I did watch Star-Crossed.
Right. He wrote that episode of Justice League. Right. So it's like, dude, he writes a lot. He's written a lot of different stuff. Like he's a good writer. And don't get me wrong. It's like, I'm not saying they're all home runs, mind you. I'm just saying that he has a voice and he knows how to use it.
He wrote for Team Knight Rider.
Wait, what?
He wrote for episode of Team Knight Rider.
Oh, well, like I said, look, they all can't be home runs, right? Team Knight Rider. Damn.
Was it the best episode of Team Knight Rider?
I
think they're all just not the best.
Right. There's officially no best episode of Team Knight Rider. Yeah, man.
So
Jay, what did you think of the book?
It's interesting. I read it digitally, so I was like one issue after the other, 12 of them. They all felt super light and easy to go through. Like that's not a good thing or a bad thing. Mm-hmm. It just didn't feel like it had much substance. Like each issue has a little bit, and that's kind of just it. And I think it changes the overall feel of the book. Like it just feels like a really big issue 0. And again, not a bad thing, but it is what it is. Like I actually ended up enjoying it. It's pretty good. Like seeing all the foxes interact.
It's so funny because Luke Fox's Batwing is cool. Like I like his Batwing. And I like Jace Fox's or Tim Fox's Batman. But
does he change his name back to Tim at some point?
No, not that I know of.
Don't they call him Tim in the first issue?
Yeah, but his name is Jace. They just call him Tim because they're like being obstinate.
Tim is his slave name.
Listen, come on, man. Listen. You don't get me wrong. You're right. His brother's being obstinate. If your mom names you Tim, it's like you can't tell your mom, call me Jace. Your mom call you what your mom want to call you.
Right. You've been Tim for 30 years.
Pretty quick though.
Like
I feel like out of everyone, she was like she went to Jace easiest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying that like I'm not gonna tell. Like I can't tell somebody's dad, hey, you really need to be calling him such and such. It's like, no, that's your dad. It's like your dad calls you what he wants to call you. Well, maybe not like, a curse word.
He calls you what he's been calling you for 30 years or however.
Right, exactly. Right, exactly.
Like you just showed up and it's like, hey, my name's Jace, by the way.
No, I know, right? It's like, dude, whatever.
And he doesn't call me at all.
It's like, if you try to change your name at 13, that's one thing. If you try to do it at like 23, nah, homie. Guess what? We already know who you are. No, no, but look, and this might just be me. Like this is one of these. This is like the way how I feel about like the Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit, in the sense that every time I see Luke Fox's Batwing, I'm like, they did my boy David Zimbabwe wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like the first Batwing, the African child soldier Batwing. Like, I'm like, dude, like that guy was hardcore. He was awesome. And I really enjoyed, like, his story, to me at least, is a better story than Luke Fox's. And I'm not saying like, oh, Luke Fox shouldn't be Batwing. I'm just saying that I don't know, man. They put like they messed around and took David away real quick. They're like, nah, we can't have no African Batwing or no African Batman. And yeah, his stuff was awesome, and I feel like no one ever talks about him anymore, and that makes me sad.
I forgot he existed.
Yeah, I know. I'm here to remind
So
you.
did DC.
What?
So did DC.
So did DC. It's true. It's really true. It's like, dude,
Was there a conclusion or anything to him? Like,
I think he may have actually died.
okay.
I don't remember. That's the messed up part. Like, I feel like here's the thing, like I read it all, but I'm like, damn, did they leave it ambiguous?
So you forgot about him too.
No, listen, I can't say, you can't say I forgot about him. I literally just brought him up.
What happened to him? Right? I mean, you read it.
Well, it's been a while.
Forgot. Yeah, you
but
forgot.
I feel like no.
There's nothing wrong with admitting you forgot.
I could be wrong.
I mean, that's what forgetting means.
No, you know what? Maybe they made him quit. I think they made him quit. When I say that, I mean like they wrote him that he quit. But he was awesome. Like, I would have much preferred, and I guess that's the whole thing, right? Like, it would have been awesome if he was part of the Bat family as a person, but he wouldn't do that because he needed to be the Batman in Africa and help his people, you know? But I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't know if they said like how Luke decided to take that moniker. Like, I don't remember. There was no passing of the torch.
He was killed by massacre.
Damn. What?
He was stabbed in the back by Massacre.
Who is Massacre?
He was investigating a new villain, calling himself Massacre. As Batwing was investigating with the police, he came across a crime scene with beheaded bodies, and then he got stabbed in the back by Massacre.
So they murked my boy. That's messed up. By a new villain that no one's ever heard of again.
You can't
they made somebody up just to kill my boy, and then this will disappear into the night. That's not cool. That's not cool, DC. You sons of bitches. That's why I don't buy your comics. Which isn't true, because I'm buying some of them, but I'm gonna buy less. Damn it. Anyway. How'd you all feel? Well, here's the thing. I mean, I know we're all gonna have different answers to this depending on how much we read, because like Jay, you said you read it digitally. I know there's different artists from chapter to chapter. So I want to ask how you all felt about the art. Mo, I'll ask you first because you only read one chapter. So what did you think of the art and what you read?
Some of it felt rushed, some of it felt good. Like a lot of the action shots, I think, had somewhat anatomy issues. They're not big, but I kind of put them in that little vignette that I put in my review. And one of them was like, he like punched them, but he's like, I'm punching this mic, and I'm like, so it's like that. And then when he threw his glove, he's like, okay, I'm gonna throw my glove. I'm on the motorcycle. I'm like throw my glove, and then he's like, to throw his glove, you know. So those things, but they're small. They're just like a panel. Like overall, it was consistent and good, but it's just those things kind of when you're talking about a book that's like 5 pages,
Yeah,
they stick out. That's
yeah.
like 20% of the art is shit.
Right. Oz, you're holding up something to the screen here. Now, you're talking.
That's the punch where he's like, he's got his back to him.
Like
he followed through.
Because it's not even like his waist is twisted. You know, it's not like he twisted his waist. It's just he's just turned all the way around like a mighty.
That's hilarious.
Not even Mighty Mouse had better punching than that.
Now
his hand gets all
Kirby hands.
Yeah.
Now, Oz, you read it in print, so if I'm not mistaken, you probably have like different artists throughout each one of those books, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your experience like reading it? Like you're reading the book. It's all written by the same guy, but the art changes, every so many pages. How was that experience for you?
It changes, but it's not a dramatic change. It's actually really consistent. If I didn't see the giant list of names at the front, you could have told me it was the same guy, and I would have said, "Okay, yeah, that looks right." So yeah, it's pretty consistent. It's not overall the art is not bad. I'm not gonna say it's great, amazing. I've seen it better, but it's more than adequate. It does tell the story. Any little problems like the backwards punch is just being nitpicky. It's fine. The art's fine. I have no problem with it.
All right. What about you, Jay? What was your thought? And Jay, did you read all of them? Did you read
Yeah, I read all of them.
Got you. Okay, cool.
And the art was consistent. There was just one page I didn't like because the panels looked like they were out of order. Okay. And I don't remember offhand what it was, but I just remember while I was reading it, I was like, those panels aren't in the correct order.
You're like that's that BS. I think they messed up. That's never a good feeling when you're reading a comic book and you're like, oh, I think someone made a mistake.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. That happens to me sometimes too, and I feel the same way. We're like, oh, you pulled me right out of this book.
I mean, it's kind of interesting because I know we were talking about Mirka Andolfo earlier. She's Italian, and there's another book I read by an Italian, and they do that shit all the time. Like, just put the panels in the wrong place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's so frustrating because I'm enjoying the book and the characters and the story, but then every once in a while, it's like I have to try and puzzle out why they're saying shit in the wrong order.
They need to draw them books in English. America.
America. I think they just need more editors. Do any of you want to move to Italy to become a comic book editor? Look, everyone's thinking hard about it. I love it. Everyone's like,
I was trying to say the word indubitably in indubitably.
Everybody was like,
I will say my last trip to Italy was pretty fun.
Okay. Oh, all right, Jay. International Jay.
Jay with the flex.
That's when he did the threesome.
No,
he did deny it.
That one.
That's
he was like, no, that's not that country. Got you, Jay. Got it. We got it, Jay. Sorry, man.
Italy is the land of the spicy sausages.
He didn't do a Eiffel Tower there. He did the Leaning Tower.
Oh, jeez, man.
Leaning Tower of Pussy.
Oh, my God. What?
That rhymes with pizza, right?
Can that be the title?
That
no.
Pizza?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not even sure whatever.
Yeah. So
we're not gonna make money off this episode. I give it up on that.
we're as free as the homeless people. We got no bills to pay and no overhead and then no liability, no responsible liability.
Anyway,
I have a few liabilities.
so
But you use this to pay that.
Oh no.
We're also small enough that we could say what we want and not get canceled.
Oh, okay. Look, that's what everybody thinks until they get canceled.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on the bubble.
The fact that I don't make money off of this is why I can edit it at work.
Yeah, I think what you all said about the art is pretty much what's the reality of the situation, where it's like it's different people, but they all are pretty much on the same level. None, like very little of it's great. Like I think what makes the comic good is actually the story. The art is serviceable. It definitely does what it needs to do to make sure it forwards the story. So that's good. I will mention, just because you brought it up earlier, Oz, about I Am Batman. I actually did end up reading that book, and I Am Batman is basically it picks up where Second Son leaves off, and it seems to me as though the series is going to bridge the gap between Second Son and the next Batman book. So if you're like looking for like the story of how Jace actually comes to the point where he is Batman in the next Batman book, that's what it seems like you're gonna get from I Am Batman.
All the Batman books seem like they're headed into that future state.
Yeah,
with the magistrate and all that.
Yeah.
And, like Tiny Onion can go. Like I'm cool with that because I'm reading his Batman book. Yeah, you know what? He's done.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. Like
his book, he's trying to make Ghostmaker a thing, and it's getting on my nerves.
And like I definitely have I have questions about different things as it relates to Batman. Like so are we heading to a point where because it does look like the Batman book looks definitely like it's leading to the future state future. Yeah. And obviously like all these other books are making they're telling us these stories as if there's going to be a handoff at some point. And do you really feel like they're going to have Bruce Wayne go missing at some point?
Well, not missing. The future state books made it seem like he was missing to the Bat family, and it's probably because I'm reading Future State Gotham right now, which is a Red Hood story.
Okay.
And in it's setting up that why Red Hood joined the Peacekeepers or Peacekeepers.
Red Hood joins the Peacekeepers?
Yeah, he's Peacekeeper Red. They're all numbered, but he's Peacekeeper Red. If you read any of the Future State books, you see that he's one of them, and he's hunting down other masks.
I mean, I read some of the Future State books, but not all the Batman ones. So
he in Future State Gotham, he's considered a peacekeeper.
Oh gosh, okay. No, I didn't see that.
Spoiler alert, I guess.
No, that's cool.
The reason he joined the Peacekeepers is because Bruce Wayne wanted somebody on the inside. And Bruce Wayne is the only one in the family that knows that that's why he joined. Everybody else thinks that he betrayed the family.
Oh, so they heard that story more than once.
Yeah, that's an interesting book, the Future State Gotham. Okay. A little disappointed that it's black and white.
Why is it black and white?
I have no idea, but it's It's black and white, and it annoys me because the art feels kind of rushed. Like some characters are just silhouettes.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's a good story.
But they do that, like, well, not the same story, but like, well, actually, I guess it's interesting because, and I guess this is kind of a parallel kind of thing because you have that happening with oh damn it, you read the next Batman, right, Oz?
Yeah, I read all that.
Okay, and I know that it's a bit of a callback, but I'm trying. Oh, with spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler is
that happens with spoiler, but it's not Bruce Wayne that does it. It's Nightwing that puts her like undercover.
Yeah, but as a villain,
right? But I mean,
in Arkham,
the Peacekeepers are villains technically, or I guess technically they're not villains, but for all intents and purposes of the story, they're villains too. They're just villains on the other side of the law, right?
Yeah.
So
they're police abusing power.
Right, exactly. So you got the Peacekeepers on one end, you got the what they call them, the black coats on the other end. And so it's interesting that they have that on both ends. But so in Future State Gotham, Red Hood knows, like, is Bruce Wayne not dead?
No, he's not. Everybody thinks he's dead.
Okay.
Everybody thinks he's dead. Red Hood actually, he talks to him in the book, so Red Hood definitely knows that he's alive.
Okay, and so where's that hiding out?
I don't know.
Okay.
Is
that Punchline?
No, that's Harley, and I hate her.
Oh.
I hate her. I hate her Future State look.
Oh.
It bugs me. Okay, and it's actually worse in color, so I'm actually kind of glad it's.
Nah.
No, but the reason it says Punchline in that image is because, I think one of them just came out either yesterday or a few days ago. But the last book I read, Punchline escapes prison because of events that happened in that story, and it ends with Harley hearing that Punchline escaped and it's like, oh no, hell no, not this bitch.
See, I'm behind on my Batman books, so I don't even know what the relationship between Harley and Punchline. Like, well, I know that they don't like each other. I'm assuming it's because of the whole Joker connection thing, but I don't know.
It's because Punchline is Joker's replacement for Harley. It's his new girlfriend. Right.
Okay.
And unlike Harley, I don't know if unlike Harley, but Punchline believes that she's not Joker's side piece or sidekick like Harley was at the beginning, but Joker's equal.
Okay.
That's how she sees her. Kind of, but it's the Joker. I mean, he cares about nobody but himself and Batman. So nobody's ever going to be an equal to the Joker in the Joker's mind. I don't think.
Right. Okay.
And that's
so what makes her.
That's what Harley tries to explain to Punchline is, look, you may think that
that picture's so. No, look. I know I don't have great eyes, but what I know is no one can see that. Look, no one can see that.
Right.
Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to go ahead, Oz. Please continue, because I didn't mean to. I was just like, oh, I can't just let that be like, yeah, viewers, look at this. Okay,
yeah,
continue.
Basically, Punchline was supposed to be a replacement for Harley, and
right.
That's really where the beef is. And Harley has tried to explain to Punchline that nobody's ever going to be his equal. Batman is the only one that comes close.
Why don't you just let her live? Like, who cares? Like, why should she care?
Because she's part of the Bat family now. She's a good guy in the Bat family, and the Joker is her biggest thing. Like, she feels like that's her responsibility. And
Is
Punchline.
Is Harley like when you say she's part of the Bat family? Like that's in what like the
in the
in
books,
like Batman, or is that like in Detective?
yeah, they're both the same thing in both.
Well, but
After the Joker War, she's you got Batgirl, you got the Robins, you got Harley. Like she's in the family.
What happened to well, you don't have to tell me exactly what happened to, but is Batwoman still around or no?
I don't know. I haven't. I read all the Bat books, and I haven't seen Batwoman.
You haven't seen Batwoman in Detective?
No.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, listen, I got to catch up because I've been buying the books, but I haven't read them. So I'm like literally like probably like a year and a half behind. So I'll figure out what happened. I got the ones to like. I got enough books that will tell me what happens if I read them. So
I don't even know if there's a Batwoman book right now.
No. Well, the Detective was like Batwoman was like one of the main people in Detective for a while when they were doing like the whole like Detective was like the Bat family book.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Okay, and that's all I need to know. So it's like when I was reading it, it was the Bat family book. Like I said, I'm like a year and a half behind. I'm sure that when I decide to like, okay, let me take this pile of books and start reading them, I'm sure I'll read through into the transition and be like, oh, they done messed around and murked my girl. She got stabbed in the back by a massacre.
I mean, she could be because
that's what happened because she's a good character and I like her. So they're like, DC's like, nah, you're too Marvel. I'm like, wait a minute. Who was massacred? Where did he even come from?
I've read books where they call in family members and none of them have Batwoman.
Batwoman don't show up, huh?
There's like 5 Batgirls and no Batwoman.
R.I.P. Batwoman. They're like, nah, man, she's too white.
It's the world redhead.
They're like, nah, man, we don't deal with she's like damn near albino. Nah.
Like Oracle's the only redhead they allow, and that's why she's green, like when she shows up.
Got it. Okay, that's fair.
Damn, now I gotta find out what's up with Batwoman.
Is Oracle still wearing her like? Does she still have her like utility jumpsuit or no?
No.
Got it. Okay.
She's regular ass Oracle.
Regular ass Oracle. Okay. One day I'll catch them on DC books.
No.
So.
What the hell are you talking about? Son.
Yeah, let's do some ratings for Second Son. Jay, why don't you go first, buddy? What would you rate the next Batman, Second Son?
I would rate it a 3 out of 5. Okay. I thought it was pretty good. Interesting enough for me to maybe check out the next Batman book. Yeah, like it was pretty good.
Okay, cool. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Batman, the next Batman, Second Son?
I believe 3.5. I like the story. I like the cliffhanger. But it kept me wanting to read more, and it's interesting. And the writing is done well. The story well, even with the flaws in the art. Like it's not that big a deal. Like I'm good with what it had, the issues it had. The story is interesting, but I think I'm probably just gonna skip to. Was it the I Am Batman? I'll do that.
Yeah, I Am Batman 0 is what came out.
I'll just do that.
Okay, well there you go. Oscor, what would you rate the next Batman?
I'm gonna give it a 4. It's what I wanted, I wanted to know where this character came from, and it's well written because he is a black man. It's easy for a writer to fall into there's places where a writer can go that's just easy with a character like this, and that is not done at all in this book. This book treats this character with a lot of respect and tells you why this guy can be Batman. there's a to one of the Future State Gotham books. There's a backup with this Batman in it, and the story itself it's not a bad story, but they have to throw in that like he found the one gang that's a white supremacist gang while doing something totally unrelated. He just happened to stumble into this one gang that so that it's like that low-hanging fruit that kind of bugs me, where it feels like that wasn't necessary to make it doesn't make this story better to include that. So it makes me suspicious of the writer. Like, why did you feel like you had to include that? It doesn't change the story at all. So that stuff like that worries me. And like I said, this writer treats this character with a lot of respect and makes me respect the character when he puts on the Batman cowl. And that's all I want from this book is tell me why this guy deserves that position. Got it.
As for myself, I would go ahead and give this a 4 out of 5. I liked it a lot. Honestly, like I felt like the story and the writing was really good. The art is probably what holds this book back a little bit, and it's not because the art's terrible or bad. It's just it's okay to good, depending on where you are in the series. Travel Foreman at a certain point becomes the artist, and I feel like he does a better job.
I'm in.
Exactly. He does he does a better job. And Travel Foreman, if I'm not mistaken, is actually going to be the artist on the I Am Batman book.
Well, so, 5 out of 5.
so
wait, is it the same writer and Travel Foreman?
Same, yeah. John Ridley and Travel Foreman, I Am Batman. Yeah, so it's like I'm like I've already read that book too, and I like what's happening there as well. Like it feels like a natural continuation. But the fact of the matter is, it's just like, yeah, it's good stuff, and I feel like the fact that it was a weekly, it was initially a digital first comic that was coming out week to week, that made it so that the artists had to be different people, kind of holds it back from a series perspective. But the character is good, the writing's good. If you like the next Batman, I think you'll like this book. So yeah, for me, it's a 4 out of 5. I liked it a lot.
I have 2 questions before we move on.
Yeah, go for it.
Question number 1. Who do you think is a better artist, Travel or Puppeteer?
I mean,
okay,
I would have to look at more of Puppeteer stuff, like, because I'm not familiar with Puppeteer outside of the Spawn cover.
I was just talking shit about both their names.
You're dumb. That's hilarious. That you're like,
it's hilarious when I explain it, which makes it not hilarious because I had to explain it.
It's funny to me.
I know.
but I'm the one that didn't get it. Who's more like Travel or Puppeteer? Listen, I feel like, here's the messed up part. Travel feels like a more regular name to me. I don't know why. I'm like, it didn't occur to me because I'm like, no, well, we all know a Travel, don't we? But no, I don't think we all do. You're right. Like, Travel is a different name too. But I guess I'm used to Travel Foreman because I know his work. Puppeteer, I only heard of today, so it feels strange still.
Puppeteer could teach Alex Ross a thing or two.
Oh, come on. Really?
It's different type of art, different type of painting.
Really? But even so, it's like look, I feel like you can't say that when it's like, that's like sitting here like saying like, oh, Kobe could teach Michael Jordan a thing or two. It's like, you don't even get Kobe without Michael Jordan. Right?
Second question. Issue 0. I remember issue 0's being free. Like,
long ago in the before time.
This issue 0 is $5.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, it just doesn't feel right. This should be 1. Issue 1, right? Why is it 0? Is my question. 0 is what you get, like it's the 5-page thing you get at Free Comic Book Day to get you excited about the new book. Not this starts this ongoing comic.
The only reason why I'm feeling this is a 0 over a 1 is because he's not Batman yet.
I mean, he's not
Like-
Batman in the next Batman Second Son.
Well, but the next Batman Second Son isn't I Am Batman.
Yeah, I guess. But $5, really? It's
Hey,
full length.
Yeah, no, listen. I look, you're not gonna mess around and get any argument from me if you're saying like, man, comics are expensive. I agree. Like I agree 100%. Like the
Put a
fact that
on
a
it.
regular book would be $5 is crazy to me. I like because I'm just saying like that's how you know comic books aren't for children.
Yeah.
It's like this is like I mean I'll say this because I don't have kids. Do children generally speaking just have like tens of dollars on them as pocket change?
They have Venmo.
Wait, but
he takes money.
They don't have Venmo. Their parents have Venmo, right?
No, they have Venmo.
Do they have bank accounts?
No, they have Venmo.
So they
Venmo
don't
is-
have Venmo. They got access to their parents' Venmo.
No, you don't need a bank account to have Venmo.
You don't?
No, that takes a place. You can just use that as where you put money in.
How do you put money in?
The parents transfer it to you, like if they bought something from you or give you or paid you for something.
You don't need a bank account to use a Venmo?
No.
Oh, damn. Well, look, that must be why I
If
don't
you
have.
want to withdraw from it or deposit to it, then yeah. But if you're just using that as your currency, you don't need a bank account.
What do you mean? Like I'm too old, apparently. Listen, I don't know your young newspeak. It's like stop using
Venmo
numbers for letters. I don't get it.
Venmo is your bank account. So when you earn money somehow,
How can Venmo be your bank account?
Because you're paid into Venmo and Venmo holds the money.
Right. And you get a card from it if you want to buy something with an ATM card, and all you need is a social security number.
PayPal does the same thing. You can have money in your PayPal.
Venmo is owned by PayPal.
Yeah,
Wait, you don't need a bank account to have a PayPal?
No. Only if you want to put money in it, but there's other ways to put money in it too.
Right. Other people have bank accounts and put money into your PayPal, and now your PayPal has a certain amount of money in it.
In fact, I think I have money in PayPal.
But I'm saying like okay, all right, well that's fair. Like listen, I have a bank account, and I didn't realize I don't.
Right, and your bank account earns you interest if you didn't spend all your money on comics. Where a Venmo account just holds, like you put $10 in, a month from now it's still gonna be $10.
It's a prepaid card with an app.
Yeah,
got it.
Speaking of banks, we should go into news.
we should look. I feel like it's been so long since we heard news music.
I have news music.
Comic book news.
We should have a
comic book
like current. Well, not like that, but like.
So it turns out that OnlyFans has come to an agreement with their banks so that they can allow porn to happen now again. So they're rescinding their no porn.
What does this have to do with comics?
It has to do with banks.
Jay, we don't a show about banks.
We were just talking about banks.
Dude, Jay.
Banking news.
Jay, why are you putting your fetish stuff into the comic book news?
I've never been on OnlyFans in my life.
No one said.
Technically, the whole forum is on OnlyFans. So you have an OnlyFans account.
Joe's like, speaking of banks, I have some banking news.
Speaking of banks, Sasha Banks, the actress.
I'm assuming that's a porn star. Is that a porn star?
Like he froze as hard as his dick did when he said Sasha Banks.
It might be. Right? That ain't just popped in my head, but yeah, it could be a porn star.
Oh, who is Sasha Banks? Then?
Oh, she's a WWE star.
Whew. Oh,
that was close. Heck, respect me again.
Hilarious. So, okay. So, Jay, OnlyFans can do porn again, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I thought they were the ones that made the announcement they're not going to be doing porn anymore, right?
Correct.
And
but
it was
because they were having issues with banks not wanting to deal with them because banks have issues with funding pornography.
That's what they said, but I think banks responded saying, we don't know what they're talking about.
Well,
there you go.
He said, banks said.
That is exactly what OnlyFans said.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And then banks said, we take money. I mean,
I saw a lot of memes of people talking about women that were going to have to get jobs now because OnlyFans wasn't going to
like super hot McDonald's workers.
Yeah.
Well, waitresses and hostesses is the meme I saw.
Listen, all types of stuff I saw where I'm just like, why are people taking so much joy in the fact that women aren't making money? Like,
the general public doesn't respect sex workers.
Yeah.
And it's fucking retarded.
Right.
It's something that needs to be done away with. Like,
especially considering like it's like
people, we shouldn't be denying them their pay for what they do.
Well, their ability to get a 401k or proper health insurance based on their work. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like there's obviously a demand for it. And I feel like the same dudes that are like calling, like messing around and making the memes are the same dudes that are like,
fuck the memes, the policy. the dudes making the policy are going to whorehouses. Yeah.
So there you go.
The memes don't mean shit. Yeah. They just make us chuckle while we're in between porn scenes. But the people making the laws, the lawmakers, should be held accountable for this because
it's all connected. Because the lawmakers feel the way they feel because the public sentiment is what the public sentiment is.
I like to point out that the lawmakers had nothing to do with the OnlyFans story.
No. I'm talking about legalizing sex, like prostitution in general, because that's what it boils down to. It's looked down upon, but it's a billion-dollar industry that happens, even though technically nobody respects them, and they're not.
All you gotta do. Oh, go ahead.
They're not allowed proper health care or tax bracket status or credit lines, and it's like it's really a victimless crime because you either pay for it or you don't.
Yeah, look, I'll say it from this point of view because I think prostitution is a net negative for society, but they're adults. They should do whatever the fuck they want.
Dude, it like all you got to do is look at marijuana. Public sentiment for marijuana changed, and then politicians' opinions on marijuana change.
I'll take it one step further, Lawrence. Look at alcohol. Alcohol is worse than marijuana.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You have more rights and more respect as a green tree plant than you do as a woman who fucks for money in America.
I mean, okay. But the long and the short of it is, it's like if people would pretend or stop pretending like they were like all holier than thou and didn't like have any issues, if they would stop pretending like they had issues with what women are doing, then policy would change in the same way.
It kind of goes back to what I said about how Mirka Andolfo deals with sexuality in her comics. Like it's erotic, it is slightly tittillating, but it's not something. It comes into play a lot of times as something normal.
Yeah.
Something that's like it's not like you never get the feeling that that comic book has sex to sell.
Yeah.
Sex is just as like arbitrary almost as the angel and demon motif. And
I agree.
It's almost it's refreshing to see that because in American comics you don't see that. Like you shy away. Oh, Batman fucked Catwoman in the New 52 #1. Oh, and people were like hiding their kids and shit from that, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this Far From Home trailer.
Yeah.
Listen, Mo, you're our resident Spider-Man fan, right? How do you feel about this Far From Home trailer?
I mean, there's an argument to be made that they're Tony Starking up Peter Parker, and it's something I don't like. Like he's been the protege of Stark, and he idolized Stark and everything. Like, I don't know if you remember, Larry, but there was a whole thing where Tony Stark got his identity got revealed, and he wanted people to forget, so he lined up the satellites to create some kind of flash that gave people that selective amnesia.
I don't remember that. Damn.
Yeah, so that's essentially the plot for this. You can say that it's the one more day thing, but it's not. It's that Tony Stark. Like, please, I don't want that. I thought that being known for Iron Man would be fun because I'm a narcissistic egomaniac with daddy issues. But it's not. And please, if he goes to Doctor Strange instead of doing the satellites, but he has Edith. Edith could do that. I believe Edith did it in the comics, and so it's that's where I'm like, you know what? They fucking Disney hates Spider-Man. Like they're just making Tony Stark Jr. And
but couldn't you say that it's different because he didn't reveal his own identity?
Tony Stark didn't necessarily reveal it. He just thought it'd be okay, and when it got out of hand, like it happened the way it happened, but it wasn't like it's not like in the movies where he says I am Iron Man, but either way, it's the whole tech suit, like the whole suit, the tech suit thing, and his reliance on technology over intelligence, and he's not creating any technology in these fucking MCU movies. They don't like Spider-Man. They like Tony Stark, and they're trying to groom some kind of replacement.
Got it.
Remind me, did Peter make the web shooters in the MCU?
He might have.
He had his sweatshirt suit. He did make his own web shooters, and he did come up with the web fluid, but Tony Stark gave him the suit and the upgraded web shooters.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even make a deal out of the fact that this kid made the web fluid. There's just a scene where he's making it in class.
Right.
But they they treat it like
a deal of it. It's not a Spider-Man movie.
What do you mean it's not a Spider-Man movie?
No, I'm saying like when you see Spider-Man, like when you see doesn't Spider-Man get introduced for the first time not in a Spider-Man movie?
But that's not when they show him making the fluid. They show him making the fluid in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're saying like they need to spend more time on that?
No, I know there's some comics where it's like, oh, you should patent this. It's like I can't because I don't want to show my identity. I got to protect Mary Jane and my aunt. Yeah, and so that's one of the great things about Spider-Man, where he creates all this shit, and that's why when Dan Slott took over, and he's like, he works for a tech company. He's like, oh, I've been making stuff for Spider-Man, and then he could finally reap the benefits of his intelligence,
Mhm.
And that's not what we see here.
Yeah, like they should have had, like Tony Stark should have patented that web fluid and just give the money to him.
I mean, okay. I don't know. Like I
That
feel like that
doesn't
is, if that's what happened, we would just be mad about that.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be bad for him because he's like dead now.
I mean, the patent doesn't go away when you die.
But
But,
he's not around to give the money to him anymore.
Right.
It's like,
And if
Tony
it wasn't,
Stark probably has a will.
Foundation.
he
Tony
might
Stark probably
not
has
have,
a will or a trust.
Look, he might not have revised it once Peter got snapped away.
Also,
That could-
when he
Or
died,
could
he
have
left.
died, and then Peter comes back and Tony Stark dies.
When Tony Stark died, he left a lot of crap to Spider-Man. I mean, you see him on the airplane, like building a new suit with Tony Stark's technology. So it's not like once Tony Stark's dead, he doesn't need the pittance of the web fluid patent when he's got basically the entire company's resources available to him.
Right.
But that's just another point of Disney hating Spider-Man.
How did you feel about it, Oz?
I thought it was fine. I'm not happy with that Doc Ock. Like what they did to his face, like it looked weird.
What did they do to his face?
They like younged him.
Yeah, they try to youngify him because apparently
You're saying Alfred Molina doesn't look like that anymore?
No.
In fact, show me old ass Alfred Molina with like the beard and everything would have been way better Doc Ock. But what they're trying to do in this movie, according to Alfred Molina, is Doc Ock is plucked at the moment that he was going to die in that Raimi movie. In fact, I think all the villains are plucked from that point.
Okay.
So they felt like they had to youngify him. And I don't know, maybe if they gave him like the same hairstyle he had in that movie, maybe I think I would have felt a little bit better because they like, I don't know, like gelled him up or something. It's just weird.
So that means we're gonna get a crappy looking Green Goblin too.
They didn't even show us what Green Goblin looks like, but you know what? He theoretically should have that same suit.
Is that what Alfred Molina looks like now?
Yeah.
Is that drastically different from what he looked like in the movie or in the trailer?
I mean, you saw the trailer.
Put up the picture of him in the trailer.
I mean, I know he doesn't have the beard and the mustache.
He doesn't have those crow's feet either.
I mean, okay. I don't know if I'm like he had goggles on, didn't he?
No, he had little tiny like Morpheus sunglasses.
Yeah.
But I'm just okay.
I mean,
guess
look, obviously you got pictures up. Just look him up in the trailer. That picture is everywhere.
You might be able to go to our Instagram at Fantastic Four.
I'm just saying like and so his face looks like super weird, like super digitally altered.
It does in that trailer.
It doesn't look natural.
And it is digitally altered. He's youngified.
Because they need him to look like he looked in Spider-Man 2.
No, I get that. I guess I'm just saying, like, I mean, maybe it was too quick, or like, hey, maybe my eyes don't work. I didn't look at that and be like, what the hell happened to Alfred Molina?
You didn't watch it 100 times?
Well, no. Definitely. I maybe watched it twice. Maybe. But it didn't look strange to me. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, and don't get me wrong, like after I watch it in the movie, maybe it will look weird.
Yeah, but then we already did this show where we dissect the trailer.
You're right.
Like I said, it could just be the hair. Because that's not the hair he had in that movie.
So, I mean, when you see this, you all say like he doesn't look like Alfred Molina.
He looks like Alfred Molina went toe to toe with Rocky.
He looks like Alfred Molina is an Irishman.
I didn't watch The Irishman yet. So.
Well, then you don't deserve to laugh.
Look, and I get where you're coming from, just because But I didn't watch all of the Irish. I didn't watch the Irishman, so yeah. Like I don't know. He like it doesn't look so weird to me. I
He's
don't
not even
know.
wearing the same clothes he was wearing at the end of that movie.
He doesn't have the same body.
Well,
He's got a thin
why-
body here.
Why does he have to be wearing the exact same clothes? Like,
Because
why can't it be a different day?
Because we were told he was plucked from the moment right before he died.
In the trailer, it's probably a day later. He probably took a shower.
Like you don't Like you don't know. Like nobody knows. So I'm just like, why?
Like he got plucked, but this battle is a month after.
For me, when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, that's what Dr. Octopus looks like from the movie.
And also, like, if he got plucked in and that's the moment, he wouldn't recognize Peter as Peter.
Well, if Spider-Man showed up in the Spider-Man costume and he sees a Spider-Man, he's gonna assume it's Peter. It's his Peter. He doesn't have to see that it's Tom Holland now. He just sees a Spider-Man and he knows Spider-Man is Peter. That could be what he's saying. Some people think that's actually him seeing Tobey Maguire, and dude, like they're really trying to get Tobey Maguire and Garfield in this movie.
I want Sandman to come back.
People are trying to say that Charlie Cox's Daredevil is in this trailer, and I look at this trailer and like, dude, if Daredevil gained 60 pounds, he ain't Daredevil anymore. Like he may be Matt Murdock, the lawyer, but he ain't no Daredevil. If that's the guy you're telling me is Daredevil.
Sheesh, man.
Daredevil cake.
Y'all are harsh, man.
I also I don't know if I should call it a leak or a rumor, but I think the story that I heard is going to be for this movie makes this trailer make more sense as to why Doctor Strange is following him around, and it looks like there's a conflict there between the two. And
Well,
I don't know if you guys want to.
I want to hear.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, go ahead. Put the rumor
So
out there. That's
what I've heard, and look, maybe this is a spoiler. Maybe I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know anybody that has. This is just what I've heard. But the story that I've heard is that after that point where the spell goes awry and these characters are brought in from different universes, Doctor Strange like Pokemons them into a box to try to figure out how to get them back to their original timeline, universe, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't get Green Goblin, who kind of figures out that somehow, whether through talking to them or Green Goblin figures out that the moment they were plucked from was right before they died. And the last thing they remember before they were plucked was Spider-Man. And that's why they're going after Spider-Man. And so he actually approaches Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and tells him, look, if you send these guys back to where they came from, they're just going to die. That's what happens. And a version of you is the reason that they're going to die. And so Tom Holland tries to free them, or like he doesn't want them to end up in that fate. So he takes this Pokeball cube thing that Doctor Strange has and he tries to figure out a better way, and that causes the conflict between them. So I haven't heard how it's supposed to end, but that's kind of where the story is going. And that's why you see Doctor Strange chasing after Spider-Man. It's not that's Mephisto, which I've also heard, because apparently
it's definitely Mephisto.
Apparently Doctor Strange like acts weird. Like there people are like, well, why is he doing spells that Wong told him not to do?
You
Like,
saw the horns on Peter Parker in the whatchamacallit sign, the protest sign. It's Mephisto all along.
That scene with Doctor Strange where like the sanctum is frozen for some odd reason. His beard is slightly discolored. It's more red. It's obviously Mephisto.
You've read Dante's Inferno, right?
I also think it's weird that he's still wearing...
technically in hell because they didn't have the letter V back then. And so Inferno was the Latin word for winter.
Right. The lowest level of hell is all ice. Like the Sanctum Sanctorum is Mephisto all along.
Well, it's a circle, so there isn't a lower level. There's a inner level, and the last level of hell is located near the devil's nutsack.
See,
So
now
real
you're
quick,
just talking stupid shit.
real quick, in the chat, we got Tiger Claw. Now we know what caused the multiverse of madness. Peter Parker kept on bothering Doctor Strange while making that spell. I think he's just a variant of that Doc Ock. It doesn't mean he's the exact one from the movie, but a variant of him. In the trailer, you see Peter Parker in a black suit. You know that Doctor Strange was mentioned in Spider-Man 2, and the fact Sam Raimi is directing the new Doctor Strange movie.
Just putting that out there.
Wait, you're telling me a guy making a comic book movie mentioned a comic book character? Oh my God, it's Mephisto.
Jay,
Clearly,
Jay, all along, read Dante's Inferno. Look, Jay,
anybody else find it weird that he's wearing that Eye of Agamotto, which used to house a time stone, and like seems kind of pointless now? On top of the fact that Thanos crushed it and like destroyed it, but he's not wearing a pimp chain essentially, right? That's all that is now.
I mean, there could be something in it.
Unless this whole movie is a branch off of the multiverse of madness. The Doctor Strange is the variant, not anybody else.
Damn, how crazy would that be?
If there is a variant Doctor Strange coming in, what if?
Yeah, I saw the
Jay,
pop. I almost bought it.
Jay, what'd you think of the trailer?
It was cool. Like,
There
wasn't really enough there for me to get super excited, or, like, it looked fine.
It's no Eternals, right?
Dude.
That new trailer looked better.
Yeah, Eternal did have
did.
a new trailer too. Like that's
the new trailer for Eternals does look better. I agree.
I'm so not into that trailer. Like,
I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm not feeling that trailer at all. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, they like love the new trailer, and like they're like, that's what's making me want to go see it. Like, I don't know. It's
No,
not
the last couple of
not
Eternal
doing it for
trailers
me.
are pretty terrible. So it's not a high bar to clear, but
And the Deviants look terrible.
I don't know.
Spider-Man trailer just kind of looks like a Spider-Man trailer. Like,
okay.
I think that trailer has just been way overhyped.
Which one?
The Spider-Man trailer.
Alfonso in chat says the trailer looks great and I am excited for the movie, but just like when Quicksilver came out in WandaVision and nothing happened with that, I am not getting my hopes up for anything.
I believe that this will deliver more so than Quicksilver will.
There's a thing about the fact that in WandaVision there was a heart over the calendar, and that date is August 23rd, and that's when Spider-Man came out, which means Mephisto.
It means Mephisto.
Clearly.
Jake's like, yeah, enough of this Mephisto. There it is. Anything else we need to mention or talk about before we get out of here?
New He-Man is crap.
Okay, I think that goes without saying. Like, you're talking about the latest trailer for He-Man.
The three. Either or, pick one. Both crap.
Oh, jeez.
One more crap than the other, but both crap.
Okay. All right. And maybe one day we'll talk about Substack taking all the talent from comics. Like, that's a longer conversation that we had. Look, maybe we do a one shot on that, Mo.
I don't even know how do I get a Substack book.
Like, if you know you
I went to the website.
I went to the website. I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Look, you got to go through your PayPal, but not with a bank account. You got to go out. You have a Venmo, you can get a Substack.
You got to scan your QR code.
Look, did you get the chip from the vaccine? If you got the chip from the vaccine, you can get a Substack, but otherwise, then no.
There's a Marvel XCOM game coming out.
Dude, wait, is that the Midnight Suns joint?
No time for that, Larry.
So wild. Look, I know you haven't seen it, Moses, or else you would be talking about it. You'd be so angry. They made all the Avengers Midnight Suns.
Tiger Claw says it's based from the comic from the 90s.
I'm so mad at Tiger Claw too.
Excellent. Midnight's ending.
All right. Let's do some final thoughts. Oz, how about you give us some final thoughts, man?
What if episode 2 was crap? I don't know what the hell you guys were talking about. Season 3, episode 3, sorry, was better though. So I'm still watching it.
Okay.
We don't have time to go into deeper.
Hey, I wasn't trying to. Jay, final thoughts.
Pretty soon. I'm not 100% sure when, but we will be putting out a one-shot on Separation.
Okay, well there it is. Most Magnum, final thoughts.
Yeah, look, we're teasing one shots all over the place, shooting them all over your face. But yeah, you got to subscribe, like, and hit the bell to know when they come out. And you can follow us on social media to get that alert. And anywhere really on social media, we're there. And aside from that, man, be here next week for when we talk about something. I don't know what it is.
Something to do. Hey, for the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If there's something going on and you want to hear our opinions on it, or if you want to talk about it yourself and you want to, bring us to the conversation, let us know. We'll talk about it on the show. Yeah, and in the meantime, just enjoy the stuff that's happening, man. It's a great time to be a geek. A lot of cool things going down, whether you're talking about movies, TVs, video games, comics. It's like a lot of amazing stuff is happening. So, and of course, again, tabletop, like everything, D&D, whatever you do. But anyway, we're the Fantastic Forum. We'll be back next week. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you then.